The great thing about FilmOut is that it not only programs crowd-pleasing fare, but it also likes to push audiences' boundaries and point out the intersection of horror and queer.
I mean, horror has always been stories of outsiders and, monsters and people seen as monsters and sort of unconventional heroes or heroines fighting back, against the monster. And I think that there's a queerness that's kind of always been there. And, I think only recently have films and books and stories been starting to come out that where queer people are at the center.
Carter Smith's feature Swallowed screens at FilmOut and ventures into body horror, which Smith has always been drawn to.
As a queer kid growing up in the 80s and early 90s, like I sort of came of age when I was pretty afraid of my body and pretty afraid of sex. Like I was, like AIDS was like the forefront of everything. And like every mole or, rash was like, oh, like I was convinced that I was going to die and I was petrified of sex, so there was this real sense that horror and sex and the body were sort of tied together in a way that I don't think I've ever quite been able to shake.
I don't know what to do.
Smith looks forward to the in-person FilmOut screening because he likes to watch audiences watch his film.
It's been amazing to sit in the theater and watch people kind of squirm in their seats and gasp and kind of and at the end, talking to people afterwards, to find people like crying and, sort of touched by this, kind of tender love story that's hiding at the heart of this really messed up body horror film.
Benjamin Howard's Rendezvous is not body horror, but it did present the filmmaker with shooting his first sex scene, which can be scary.
The short explores a number of things, one of which is kind of the gray areas of consent. And so it's not easy. And so you want to tread lightly. You want to make sure that everyone's very comfortable. We had an intimacy coordinator on set who was phenomenal to work with. Amanda Blumenthal is her name. And she really kind of made the difference between me just coming into this scared out of my mind and me approaching this like, okay, cool.
Howard grew up in San Diego, but Rendezvous became a class project at UCLA.
You ask yourself, well, what's my end goal? If my end goal is to make, a feature version of something, but I don't quite have the means to do that just yet.
Hi.
Looks like my package arrived.
Okay, great. Start with the proof of concept. Maybe you take a scene from that feature script and you turn that into a short. And that's basically what we did with Rendezvous, the short film.
Another film with local roots is Rachel Ernest's Moving Out, which was shot in the director's hometown of Oceanside.
Sometimes I asked myself, why did I decide to do it this way? Because, it was challenging to see who came out to help us and who did not.
The church administration scenes where the main character overhears a man asking whether his son can marry another man were shot at the director's childhood church.
The General Assembly has left this decision to the local church government.
Those were at my childhood church, and so it was really, really special to me to be able to film there because it's not completely based on a true story. It does hit close to home.
The upcoming Moving Out screening at FilmOut is particularly exciting for Ernest.
I have all these people from the church community who are coming out to this LGBTQ festival, and I think it's amazing. I honestly never thought that this could happen.
FilmOut will be making amazing things happen tomorrow through Sunday at venues in Balboa Park. Thanks for watching. I'm Beth Accomando, and I love covering arts and culture for KPBS here in San Diego. If you want to see more of my coverage, then please hit the like and subscribe button and share. Thanks.